Benue State Governor Samuel Ortom says he will not be supporting the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, because of the candidate's alleged support for the killing of innocent Benue people by armed Fulani herdsmen. Ortom spoke in Makurdi, the state capital, during the banquet organized by the state for the visiting aggrieved PDP governors comprising Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi of Enugu State, Okezie Ikpeazu of Abia, and Seyi Makinde of Oyo State, and Nyesom Wike of Rivers State. The G5 governors had come to inaugurate some projects in the state, including roads, while one of the roads leading to the residence of the PDP national chairman, Dr. Iyorchia Ayu, was named after Wike. Well, spokesperson for the People's Democratic Party Presidential Campaign Council, Dino Melaye, and former PDP National Legal Advisor, Jacob Mark, join us now on Newsday to discuss the unabating crisis in the party. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us on Newsday.
Yeah, the pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Well, I'll start with Mr. Dino Melaye. I would like your reaction to Governor Ortom's stance that he would never support Atiku Abubakar's presidential candidacy because he sees nothing wrong. He allegedly sees nothing wrong in the killing of innocent Benue people by armed Fulani herdsmen.
First, I will start by saying that Governor Ortom is entitled by right to support whoever candidate he chose to support. He can support anybody he chose to support. That's his fundamental right to choice. But what is not proper is for him to lay the blame of the Fulani herdsmen or the mishap in Benue State on the lap of our presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar. That is very, very inappropriate. It's very wrong. And Governor Ortom is not fair to Atiku in saying that he's not supporting Atiku because he's laid the blame of the killings by Fulani people on Atiku. I want to educate Governor Ortom and to take him back to history. During the Shagari administration, Shagari appointed 4 Benue indigents as ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, namely Paul Unogo at that time, Isaac Shahu, there's Elizabeth Ivase, and Audu Ogbe, 4 indigents of Benue as ministers. Again, late President Yaradua appointed another Benue indigent as Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, talking about Anduaka, SAN. You know, so these 2 presidents are Fulani by extraction and by origin, and they appointed 5 Benue indigents. One appointed 4, one appointed. They are both Shagari and Yaradua are Fulani by ethnicity. But yet they appointed these Benue indigents. And I think it is very uncivil, very improper for the governor of Benue State to blame Atiku Abubakar because some Fulani people committed some dastardly acts in Benue State. I, as an individual, I condemn the activities of criminals irrespective of ethnicity, irrespective of tribe or religion. Crime is crime. Will I now say because a kidnapper is arrested in Abuja and that kidnapper is of thief origin, for example, then I will now say because Ortom is the governor of Benue State, I'm going to lay the blame of his misbehavior in Abuja on him? That is not right. That is not proper. Well, I mean, it is not okay. And he said in another interview that Atiku has not shown any empathy to the people of Benue State. He has not come to Benue State. And I think that is deliberate amnesia. Because if you go back to history, you will know that in February 2022, this year, Atiku visited Benue State, paid courtesy call on the governor, and visited the IDPs who were displaced in Benue, and donated a whopping sum of 50 million naira to the IDPs. And this money was donated and given by Atiku just February this year. Because Atiku, as a man who is compassionate, who is a philanthropist, who believes in humanity, far before now, visited Benue State to show love, to show concern, because he is not only doing that as a Nigerian, he also did it because he is the Zege Mule of Tivland, a very high title he got about 20 years ago in Benue State. So Benue to him is a second home. The people of Benue know that Atiku is a pan-Nigerian. He is one that you cannot accuse of ethnicity. He is one that you cannot accuse of religious bigotry. He is somebody that every Nigerian knows that he is an upright person. So will you now say, and surprisingly, Governor Ortom during his statement also said that these Fulani people are from outside Nigeria. This is Ortom himself saying that these people are from outside Nigeria. So if you say these people are from outside Nigeria, then why are you now blaming a responsible, compassionate philanthropist, a Nigerian with passion for the poor, for the needy, and the have-nots from Adamawa State? Why are you now, exhibiting that kind of bitterness and unnecessary charity towards an innocent Nigerian? And I think with this type of unnecessary outbursts on Atiku Abubakar, my advice as a Christian to my Christian brother Ortom is that, because when you say the Lord's Prayer, there's a portion in that Lord's Prayer that says, forgive those who trespass against you, understand, as God forgives you. So I want to advise that Ortom will need to apologize to God and apologize to Atiku Abubakar, because you cannot label a complete tribe or a complete ethnicity because of the misbehavior of some. And you yourself said they are from outside Nigeria. And why he was contradicting himself. If you say they are from outside Nigeria, then why are you blaming a Fulani man from Adamawa State?
All right, thank you for that. I'm going to move over to Mr. Jacob Mark.
Are you Ruba?
I'm going to move over to Mr. Jacob Mark now, just for the sake of time. Thank you. I'm going to throw the same question to you too, Mr. Mark, seeing as we are at a time where there are many exasperated individuals. Clearly, Governor Ortom is exasperated by the deaths that are occurring in his state due to killings and the floods. In this very ethnically and religiously polarized climate that we find ourselves in Nigeria currently, do you foresee that as the elections move forward, we will see more ethnically polarized statements coming from our candidates or even governors? And on your side, since you can only speak about what the PDP is doing, what will PDP be doing to counter these suggestions and also make sure that the rhetoric is toned down on your own end as well, so that we don't A, violate the peace accord, and B, incite more individuals to anger as we lead ourselves up to the 2023 elections? Your thoughts?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. And let me say very quickly that it's embarrassing and a bit unheard of for our respected governor of Benue State to speak in this tone. I was in church when he did his Thanksgiving, and I got a very good impression of him as a very fine Christian gentleman. And I don't think it is Christianly for somebody to say, go to hell. It's not a place you wish even your enemy. And for me, I am sad because the lives of the poor are being used for politics. The ordinary tea or ordinary person in the streets of Benue that is sacked from his house, that gets killed, the children that are traumatized, they don't go to school like their mates, the women that have been removed from their houses are the victims in this matter. And for me, the rhetoric from Ortom has not stopped the killings. And that is what I'm worried about. If you continue to speak or cry and the killings do not stop, you have not helped anybody. And he needs to slow down and learn, take a leaf from what the southern governors are doing, maybe in Osun, Ondo, Ogun State. What are they doing that has reduced the spate of killings in those areas? What is it that the governors in the East have done that is cutting down or slowing down the onslaught of these killers? And their people are finding succor. They are being assisted by the government of the state, not just to provide help in IDP camps, no, but to stop the killings. And for me, that should be prime. If Ortom has the backing of the Wikis and other people, they should help him stop the killings, not to provide money for IDPs. Our people should not be in IDP camps. They should not be IDPs at home. External aggression should be resisted. And yes, if there is a failure, the executive arm of government at the state and at the federal must take the blame. They are the ones that have allowed our people to become victims. And instead of all this politicking, all these ones that he keeps traveling to France, travel to London, travel to everywhere, following Wike like his special advisor, is not helping, he's not stopping the killings. And for me, that should be prime. Look, 2023 will come and go. It doesn't matter whether you support somebody or not. If God has destined that he will win election, he will win. If it is not God's time for him, he won't win this election, even if you support him. We have seen people who have not been supported from left, right, and center, and they have won election without our support. So let it not be that we leave the vital matters that affect our people and concentrate on politicking. All this dancing he's doing and all this noise he's making, if the killing does not stop, some of us don't have any respect for him.
Oh, Mr. Mark, thank you so much for that. I would like to take it back to Mr. Dino. Now, it's curious and quite disturbing the way the PDP has been in crisis ever since your party primaries. 5 governors, of course, like we know, have refused to support your candidate due to the refusal of your national chairman to honor a gentleman's agreement to step aside if a northerner emerges as candidate. Now we understand that even Governor Bala Mohammed is aggrieved over claims that Atiku might be against a second-term ticket and for sidelining him in the Northeast campaign. So considering the level of disunity in your party that can directly or indirectly be linked to Atiku Abubakar's candidacy, how can he honestly claim to be a unifier? Isn't this a sign that your candidate is not what Nigeria needs at this moment when the country is divided along ethnic and religious lines?
Yeah, thank you very much. First, I want to start by debunking the fallacy that the governor of Bauchi State is aggrieved. As I speak with you on my honor as a child of God, that the governor of Bauchi State, as I speak, is with Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. They are together right now as I speak in the residence of Atiku Abubakar in Asokoro. The governor of Bauchi State is there. The DG of the campaign is there. Leah Limoke is there. And we are already talking about our rally tomorrow. So it is not true that the governor of Bauchi State is he has any problem with Atiku Abubakar. Those are beer ballot discussions that are being propelled by drug-induced individuals on social media. But the truth of the matter is that the problem with the PDP is domestic and it will be tackled domestically. But does the problem have the potency or capacity to stop Atiku Abubakar from becoming president? I would say it's a capital no. The election this time around is not about leaders, it's not about governors, it's not about individuals. It's not about some selected high-powered Nigerians. No, it's about the people. It's about the grassroots. Because the beavers and also transmission of electronic results will show that votes will count, and it is about the masses in this country. It is about the electorate, and Atiku is talking directly to the electorate. And Atiku, as a unifier, has shown a lot of restraint, has shown a lot of maturity. As I speak with you, Atiku met with Nyesom Wike 4 times, both in Nigeria and outside this country. He has the maturity, he has the temerity to pull everybody together. And I want to tell you that democracy, I've always said, is noisy. All you are saying are all parts of the noise in democracy. And I want to believe that it has no potency of creating any massive electoral damage that will stop Atiku from becoming the president. And I say by the grace of God, Atiku is the next president of this country. And let me tell you, the issue by Ortom trying to label Atiku Abubakar, I want to inform Governor Ortom that we have Fulani pastors, we have Fulani bishops, we have Fulani priests of Fulani extraction who are Christians. So for you to just color a complete, people and then criminalize them in this age and era for somebody who is educated, who is intellectually mobile, who is civil, who is well-traveled, is very, very unfortunate. And I still insist that Governor Tom will definitely have to apologize. And you know, it's I have a cousin in Makurdi who was also telling me that it is a huge coincidence that it is always when it is month ending, between 25th and 5th, between 25th of the month and 5th of month, when you are supposed to pay salaries, that this issue of Fulani killing is being eraded by the governor. You know, I think the governor will have to relax, come back to his cocoon, apologize, and let us all work together in the interest of this country. This country is bigger than any one of us. And I want to tell you that by the grace of the Almighty God, Atiku Abubakar have the potency, have the capacity to stop these killings, because he is not only the most experienced presidential candidate today, but he has the capacity to stop these killings because he knows this country inside out. And by the grace of God, when he becomes the president of this country, all these killings will stop. We are not going to behave like the APC, where Bola Tinubu have told Nigerians that if they should allow him to be president in 6 months, it will end the crisis, the insecurity crisis in this country. And we are saying that we still have 7 months to go. So just minus 6 months from this one that is here and solve it now. Why do we have to wait until when you become president next year that you are going to solve it within 6 months? We still have 7 months to go, about 7 months to go. So minus 6 months from these 7 months and solve the crisis now. After all, he's the national leader of the APC. So as the national leader, that means he directs the president, he controls the party. So let him just use whatever magic he wants to use next year. Now, there's enough time. We can still extract 6 months of his operation to stop the insecurity now before we go. So we should not be distracted by all the bickerings of some of these governors. And I'm still telling you that some of these governors are going to work with Atiku Abubakar. You saw in Makurdi yesterday when the governor of Abia said everybody should vote from top to bottom, from bottom to top. What is he saying? He's saying they should vote for Atiku Abubakar. And you heard the presentation of governor of Enugu State. I know at the end of the day, by the grace of God, some of these governors will still work with Atiku Abubakar. And because this country is not only sick, but equally suffer from dreadful congenital abnormality, and we need to heal this country. Nigeria is looking for a healer. The Aso Rock is looking for a healer and not a patient. Atiku, by the grace of God, with him, all this insecurity will stop.
All right, Mr. Melaye, some very well-worded, subtle, low blows, shots to the stomach there. Thank you for that. Let's move on to Mr. Mark. We see that the crisis continues. We were told of a conflict resolution mechanism within the party, but that has yet to yield results. Of course, we're still discussing the fractions within your party. And leading up to 2023, trying to figure out what are going to be the traits that separate the winners from the losers. Well, first of all, let's go with Atiku's scorecard as it is. Critics are saying his scorecard is looking a little bit beat up. Reason being, of course, the 5 governors plus Wike against him. His own history of not being in the country for a long time, of course, his residences in multiple countries, including Dubai. We also know that his age has been thrown in there. The issues of graft from his past, whether prosecuted or not, still linger behind him. And of course, this crisis within the party. This seems like a lot of check marks against someone who is, like my colleague suggested, supposed to unite an already fractured country. So in your opinion, how will he surmount all of these in order to make himself look like the better candidate amongst all the rest of them to Nigerians who will be going to the polls in February?
First of all, let me say that there is no big crack in the PDP, as people may want to say. Yes, we have 5 governors that are disgruntled, and for reasons that are purely personal. very, very personal. When Wike and co hide behind this issue of a southern presidency, I am very quick to say they are just pretending, because we were among those. I was among those that applauded them when they met as southern governors long before the primaries and agreed that the presidency should be zoned to the south. But a run-up to the primaries, they completely disintegrated. The southern governors themselves betrayed each other. They themselves refused to put their act together and support one of them. Why is it that Wike came out to contest when everybody, either in PDP or APC or any other party, was clamoring for a Southeasterner to be president? Wike, with all respect, knew the agitation, knew the sentiment around, that everybody was willing that for the first time, let's give the Igbos the slot of presidency. But Wike, because he is stronger than everybody, and because he keeps getting whatever he wants, insisted on being a presidential candidate. Wike single-handedly removed Secondus because he knew that if Secondus is national chairman, there was no way he would fly his ticket of contesting the presidency and get a hearing. So he kicked Secondus out. He is single-handedly the person that brought Ayu together with Ortom and put him on the party, all because he wanted a clear way for him to contest. And of course, when he did all that, his colleagues, southern governors, saw through it and refused to also support him. So for me, if people will be very selfish, they should say so, and let's know them for that. Let no one be hiding behind this talk of power should be shifted or should have shifted to the south. We all supported that, but they themselves from the south betrayed themselves and killed the idea. And he was in the forefront of killing the idea, because if he had supported any of the Igbo candidates, this problem would not have arisen. Because I know Atiku Abubakar also said that if they agree that the power should go to a Southeasterner, he will step down. They didn't do it.
Mr. Mark.
So, yes, there is a problem, but it's largely personal and it is built on their selfishness. And I'm happy that this election is going to be local. Every of this election, Wike will not determine the election in my state. He is not going to determine the election in Abuja. He can determine the election in his village. But he cannot cross over and come here to affect the election. We will not listen to him.
Mr. Mark, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that.
And Ortom himself knows.
Thank you so much for that. Mr. Melaye, one final question. I know that you've also recently demanded an apology from the Labour Party presidential candidate, Peter Obi, for what you termed his unpresidential outburst at the Arise town hall meeting. But from what we gathered, Mr. Obi believes you provoked him first when you allegedly said Obi people now wow. So what more can you tell us about that? This seems to be a season of demanding so much apology. Please talk to us about it.
Anyway, I want to start by saying that leadership comes with responsibility. And the presidency of a country like Nigeria also comes with a lot of responsibilities. I mean, if you want to be the leader of this country, you want to be the president of this country, you're going to be president over witches and wizards, over madmen, over drug addicts, over sane and insane people. So you must have the maturity to be tolerant. You must have the maturity to persevere. You must have the maturity to be accommodating, and without even accepting, without conceding that I made that statement. For a man who wants to be the president of this country, I mean, you don't need to exhibit that public misbehavior by reacting in the manner he reacted. And that was not even correct. That's not correct. Obi must have his reasons because there was an incident before that scenario where the Labour Party people completely held the program to ransom. They did not organize that beautiful town hall meeting that the Arise TV put together. I mean, they were not part of the organizers. And why would they now be giving modus operandi? Why would they be giving conditions to people who organize their own program? If you want to organize your own program, go organize your own program and then determine how you want the program to run. So there was pandemonium for close to 1 hour, and that was responsible for the delay of that program. And some of us vehemently said that program must continue. They cannot hold us to ransom. And because of that initial brouhaha, already Obi was pent up, and he even denied his people because Dr. Ruben Abati had to announce that you are saying that you don't know these people. You are not, or he echoed that, Governor Obi said he doesn't know these people. He denied his own people because when they were becoming unruly, they were becoming rude. So at that time already, he showed he had no control over the people he invited for that very wonderful, productive town hall meeting. And I want to use this opportunity to congratulate Arise TV. That was wonderful, well-organized, thought-provoking, and solution-driven. And I pray for more of that. So I still ask that Peter Obi, who wants to be president of Nigeria, should apologize to me because he doesn't have the temperament of a presidential candidate.
Well, Dino Melaye, not to go into the past, I just want to drop this here. You are no stranger to controversy yourself, and apologies. I just want to remind you of a quote that you said earlier. Great minds dwell on issues. They don't dwell on issues, they move on. But anyways, thank you so much for joining us, spokesman for the People's Democratic Party, the Presidential Campaign Council, Dino Melaye, and the former PDP National Legal Advisor, Jacob Mark. Thank you so much for joining us.